I'm Norm from Tested, and building computers for PC gaming is one of my favorite things. We've teamed up with Origin to have some fun with PC building and PC gaming. Join us on this series as we take on build projects, explore science, and test cool stuff to feed our curiosity. Together, we're Team PC. Bum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. That's right, Battlefield 1 has just come out and I am loving playing it on my home PC. Now, one of the things I love doing in this game is crazy aerobatic stunts. I've watched some great YouTube videos of people doing things like jumping into the gunner seat, stalling the plane, shooting an enemy, and then jumping into the pilot seat and flying off. And it made me wonder, could it actually happen? One of our friends, Hoagy de Plante, invited me out to fly in his biplane for a lesson in aeronautics and plane stalling. So let's go check it out. Hoagy, we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
I'm suited up. Does that mean we're out to fly?
Yes, we're going to fly a 1973 Starduster II biplane.
Oh, wow.
So it's not really from 1914, but at least it's a biplane. It's covered in fabric, and there are actually a couple of similarities with the 1973 Starduster to a lot of World War I airplanes, and I want to talk about two of them before we get in the air and do some stalls. Okay?
Oh, absolutely.
So the first thing is we talked a little bit about angle of attack the last time when we were talking about stalls, and that's the idea that the more angle of attack you have, the more air you're plowing with the wing, and up to a certain point you're adding lift, and past that critical point is when the wing stops working because of turbulence and then a stall happens. If you look at the way this airplane is sitting on the ground right now, this is called a tail dragger or a tail wheel airplane. So that means that there's a little wheel on the butt of the plane and the main gear is up front, and that's different from a lot of modern airplanes that would have a nose gear like an airliner or a Cessna or something. So when you're looking at this airplane sitting on the ground like this angle, if you imagine the wind coming straight across the ground, parallel to the ground, you can see that it has a little bit of angle of attack right now. And the angle of attack that you're looking at right now and pretending that the wind is going parallel to the ground is basically right at that critical angle for stalling. And there's no accident that they designed the landing gear to hold the airplane right at the critical angle of attack, because when you're landing the plane, when you do a nice three-point landing on all three wheels at the same time, the airplane is basically stalling right when it touches down.
And you want the wings to be ineffective,
exactly,
no lift.
Exactly. And
landing.
we may do a landing, we may do a three-pointer, or we may do a mains landing today. We have a little bit of a crosswind, so we'll kind of feel it out when we get in the pattern. But anyway, that's one thing that's interesting about this and similar to a World War I airplane. The other thing is, if you look at the wings, the top wing of the biplane is actually a little bit forward of the bottom wing, and that and some early biplanes were not designed that way, but a lot of biplanes were designed that way, even in the First World War. Also, the bottom wing is a little bit shorter, and so what that actually does is when you have a little bit of angle of attack on the airplane, it prevents the bottom wing from blanking the lift of the top wing. So the wings are staggered a little bit like this, so that when you have angle of attack, you're still getting effectiveness on both wings. If they were perfectly lined up with each other, then you're almost like have 1.2 wings instead of 1.7 wings or something that we have right now.
So they take those attributes of aerodynamics into consideration when designing these type of biplanes.
Exactly, yep. So you ready to go fly?
I am absolutely ready. Let's mount some cameras on this thing.
All right.
And get up in the air.
Awesome, sounds good. Nice and smooth up here now.
Gotta say, this is the best view for a lesson in aeronautics.
It's pretty great, huh? Getting nice and cool up here too. That helps. The airplane performs better when it's cool, as the air is thicker. There are all kinds of factors that relate to how an airplane flies: temperature and humidity and the altitude that you're at. Now, right now, I'm actually not touching it. The plane's flying all on its own pretty much right now. It's smooth enough that I don't really have to worry too much about, you know, the wing picking up or whatever. So you maybe could climb out of
cockpit right now. Put your hand out in the wind and tell me if you can climb out. We're only going 90 right now too. Imagine if we were going like 130.
Yeah. There's a lot of wind.
You'd probably get blown off of this thing if you tried to climb out of it. All right, here's about 5,000. So I'm going to level the airplane off. I'm going to reduce our power here.
Traffic red, cap.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is called a power off stall. So what that means is we're going to pull the power all the way to idle. So the airplane's basically a glider. And we're going to try to hold 5,000 feet. Well, obviously, if we don't have an engine working for us, we're not going to be able to hold 5,000 feet. So what you're going to see, and we'll see it in the video afterwards really well, you're going to see as the plane slows down, the angle of attack is going to pick up. And that's because we need to increase the amount of lift as the plane slows down to keep us up at 5,000 feet. Eventually, we're not going to be able to do it anymore. And before the plane actually stalls, we'll feel a little bit of a buffet. Okay, so I'll call it out. So we're at 5,200. Power's at idle.
Speed's reduced.
We're at 60. We're coming close to 60. Look at the angle of attack now, and we're level. We're not climbing or descending. So this is all angle of attack you're looking at. There's 55. I can feel it starting to burble a little bit, and there's the right there. There's the stall. So now, in order to recover from the stall, we have to reduce the angle of attack by pushing the nose down. And only now am I actually adding a little bit of power to the airplane. Okay. So when the plane stalls, you start losing altitude, and in the old days when people were still learning how to fly, they were like, holy crap, and they would pull the stick back even more, and all that does is make your problem a lot worse. So it's counterintuitive, and that's a big thing that you learn when you learn how to fly, is if the plane is getting mushy and starts getting close to stalling or stalls, you have to push the nose of the plane down because you're reducing your angle of attack. You're getting that air to go smooth over the wings again, and then the plane starts flying again.
It definitely makes a lot more sense when you can feel it.
Feeling okay up there?
I'm feeling great.
You want to try a couple aerobatic maneuvers here? We'll try a roll. So we're going to do an aileron roll. Okay, so we're going to dive the airplane to 135 miles an hour, okay? And then we're going to pick the nose up. We're going to do about a 2G pull. We're going to pick the nose way up above the horizon. And then we're going to roll over to the left, and it's going to be a 1G roll. So you're not even going to feel that we're upside down when we're upside down, because you're still going to be stuck in your seat, okay? All right, there's 130. There's 135. Here's our pull. And now roll over. There's the back side of the roll. And that's a 1G roll.
Hoagy, can I ask you to do a barrel roll?
Yeah, sure, I can do a barrel roll. So that was an aileron roll. A barrel roll is kind of similar to an aileron roll, but we're going to pull our way through the barrel roll. It's kind of a combination of a loop and a roll, okay? We're going to do this one. Yeah, we'll pull about 3.5 on this one probably.
Oh boy.
Okay, here we go.
Here's a barrel roll.
All right, here's a barrel roll. Got to pick up a little speed first. And then we cut the power on the way down here. There's a barrel roll, perfect.
Thank you so much. This is an incredible experience.
Oh, you're welcome. I love taking people for a ride.
That was incredible. Going up there, doing a stall, doing that barrel roll gives me a whole new appreciation for not only the aerodynamics of planes, but also the pilots who fly them. Thank you so much to Hoagy, who took me up there on his biplane. But I think I'm gonna go stick to playing video games and flying the virtual airplanes in Battlefield 1. We'll see you next time.